What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. So Lindsey Graham has completely lost his sense of dignity, if he ever had any. He appears on air and makes outrageous claims, seemingly just to get praise from Donald Trump. His alarming suggestion that failing to elect Donald Trump would lead to another 9/11 ignores the fact that we haven't faced anything like that in years, none since 9/11, in fact. This kind of fear-mongering from the right reveals their anxiety about Donald Trump's chances in this election, because many Americans view him as unfit for office.
That's Donald Trump, Kari Lake, Sam Brown. Let's secure these Senate seats to help this president shut down the border before another 9/11 comes. This is the most important election in our lifetime. Turn around those caravans. LindseyGraham.com. Help these two great candidates secure that border. They need your help.
Why does Lindsey Graham always sound like he's crying in his interviews? And listen, I realize Republicans always recycle talking points, but did Lindsey Graham really just say, turn around those caravans? Dude, you guys weren't even talking about caravans this year. It sounds like you went into the 2016 well and pulled out your talking points. Come on now. And he's advocating for us to elect Kari Lake. Kari Lake is still delusional about the election results in Arizona. She thinks she's the governor of Arizona. Why in the hell would we elect her to the Senate? Donald Trump is still delusional about the election results of 2020 as well. Why should we elect him? I mean, seriously, Donald Trump talks about like Hannibal Lecter and people dropping their insane asylums off in our country. He's talking about people like him and Kari Lake because they're absolutely delusional about the results of the 2020 election. And here's the funny thing. Lindsey Graham has not always been someone who's singing Donald Trump's praises. In fact, he warned us. He warned us back in 2016 that if Donald Trump became the nominee, he would ruin the Republican Party. And he has. He has ruined the Republican Party. He has ruined the country because the country is now different thanks to Donald Trump ever being president. But again, Lindsey Graham warned us. Check it out.
If Donald Trump cares to banner my party, I think it taints conservatism for generations to come. I think his campaign is opportunistic, race-baiting, religious bigotry, xenophobia. Other than that, he'd be a good nominee.
And these are not things that are just said by Lindsey Graham. These were said by other prominent Republicans as well. They said that he was unfit for office. They said that he was unhinged. They called him a bigot. They called him a narcissist. They called him a racist. His running mate, J.D. Vance, even said that he was a never Trump guy, said that the racist stuff that he talks about is the reason why people don't like him. I've said this many times, but many of these people are doing this for political expedience. It is why Ron DeSantis kissed the ring after Donald Trump basically dragged him during their campaign against each other. This is why Ted Cruz kissed the ring, just pretty much gave up all his pride and went and made cold calls for Donald Trump. This is why Marco Rubio is kissing Donald Trump's ring after he called him all kinds of names like Little Marco and everything like that. This is why, he called Ron DeSantis Ron DeSanctimonious, and he's now saying that he backs Donald Trump. Nikki Haley called her a bird brain, and she now says that she's backing Donald Trump. These people don't like him, but they understand his supporters love him, and they want to capitalize off of that support once Donald Trump is gone. I think it is our job not to give these people a pass. Every single one of them, as soon as this election is over, as soon as Donald Trump starts to fade away, will try to distance themselves from him. It is our job to remind them that they enabled this bigotry. If it weren't for them, if they had called Donald Trump out when he was running rampant, when he was saying the things that he was saying about them, we wouldn't have the Donald Trump that we have today because more people would have paid attention. These people had a pretty big size voting block between all of them, between Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, between Ted Cruz. There's been a lot of them. Marco Rubio, many of them had a big enough voting block. Had they called Donald Trump out and said, you know what, this narcissism, this racism, this bigotry, this sexism doesn't belong in our party and we're not going to stand for it, we wouldn't have this Donald Trump. We have this unchecked Donald Trump because no one has ever held him accountable. You have these people who have said the worst things about him now supporting him, now acting like he's going to save our country and save all of us from all these made up bad things that they're saying is going to happen to us. It is absolutely sad, disgusting, and embarrassing to our country that Donald Trump is the leader of a serious, or I shouldn't even say serious because they're not serious anymore, of a huge party in our country. It is absolutely disgusting that none of them have held him accountable. And understand, a second Donald Trump presidency will be more unhinged than the first one because there will be no one with guardrails. He will surround himself with yes men and yes women, and he will be unhinged like you've never seen him before. This is why it's important for us to vote. Get out and vote. Vote early. Vote when you can. Make sure you get out and vote. Get other people out to vote. We got to make sure that Kamala Harris is president in 2024 and not Donald Trump. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in they heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.